Watch my son's round real quick here and tell me how many different swings do you see him using as he absolutely obliterates these balls? Because here's the deal. Most people spend all of their time trying to train their kid to have this one perfect swing, but that's not what's happening here. He's actually using 3 or 4 different swings to adjust to different pitches and locations and speeds, and it's paying attention to stuff like that that's helped him keep getting better and better, while other kids stay stuck even though they're putting in the same amount of effort that he is. Now, in my last video, I showed you why swing cues don't actually fix hitters. So in this video, I want to show you what we do instead, because it's a simple 3-step process that we use to actually build swing mechanics that show up in games. Because when he's perfectly on time, you'll see that that back foot just kind of slides underneath him. When he's a little bit early, he hits this scissor move to slow himself down. When he's really early, he drops into a back knee to stay through the ball. And here, he can just hang in his stride a little bit long in that back hip and ride out that back leg to adjust to a curveball that he recognized early. Those are multiple different swings. And here's the crazy part. I didn't teach a single one of those to him with cues. Now here's where it gets really interesting. That back knee move, that actually came from putting him into a flat bat drill where we were throwing him down and in sinkers, and all of a sudden that move started to show up. That staying in the back hip, that came from our drunken shuffle drill. That scissor move, that came from drills where we forced him onto his front leg and then had him adapt to different speeds on the pitching machine. It didn't come from cues. It came from different environments and forcing his body to just figure it out. And this is the part that most people miss, because what researchers are finding is that hitters actually learn faster by feeling the difference between 2 movements instead of trying to chase one perfect swing. It's actually a really interesting study done with toddlers where they were throwing beanbags, and one group was practicing the same distance over and over. Like they had to throw the beanbag from like 4 feet. And another group was practicing from different distances. Some were closer, some were further away, but never the actual one they were going to test them on at the end. But when they did test them, the group that practiced the different distances, throwing further and shorter than the actual one they were going to be tested on, actually performed better than the group that practiced the right exact distance. Because they weren't trying to learn just one move, they learned how to feel the difference between being a little bit too long and a little bit shorter, and how to make those adjustments. And this is where it's really important to understand how constraints come in, because there's a lot of additional research from a gal by the name of Dr. Gabriel Wolf that shows that when athletes are put in environments that guide movement, they learn faster and perform better than when they're given a bunch of internal cues. Internal cues are things that they think about inside their body, like turn your hips, keep your hands inside, stay back. So instead of telling hitters what to do, we change the environment so that their bodies organized for the movement we're trying to get them to make. And this is honestly where this whole thing started for us, kind of by accident, where one day we were just messing around and we were doing a mimic round, which is where we have the kids mimic some of their favorite big league hitters. And at the time, my son was liking Josh Donaldson. He just won an MVP. He has a big leg kick and he had big hand pump. And so we were playing around with those different things just for fun, and along with a couple of other big leaguers. And the next time we hit, and I didn't say anything about it, what happened is he ended up kind of looking like a left-handed Josh Donaldson, because he's a lefty. And he was absolutely smoking balls. And that's when it started to click for me, where it's like something about that discovery process we did the day before unlocked a new feel for him that words or cues or whatever I wanted to come up with was not getting through to him. It took a different approach. And then I just kept seeing that over and over and over again, where my youngest used to get super spinny, like a little ballerina. He'd just fly open. Instead of trying to fix it with cues, we started to use this approach. We ran him through different movement experiments until we found the ones that made that front leg stick in the ground and stop spinning. My daughter, same thing. She was really choppy, and we just kept testing different movements until the right thing showed up. And after doing this for almost 10 years now, with thousands and thousands of hitters in our facilities, we ended up building something that we now call the swing discovery system, where instead of guessing or just throwing cues at kids, when we see a swing flaw, we already know that there are a handful of experiments we need to run to help that hitter discover the right way to solve that movement solution for their body. Because we're not trying to build one perfect swing. We're actually helping the hitters discover movements that work for their body. Because in the games, you're going to need more than one swing. Because everybody's body is a little bit different. So we have a set of experiments that we can run, and usually one of those unlocks the feel for the kid. And they end up discovering some movements that they'd never done before that end up being really helpful. With the added benefit of it actually teaches them a couple of different types of swing moves, and then those start to show up to help them be more adjustable, like I showed you with my son earlier. And so to help kind of tie all this together in this next video, I'm actually going to show you exactly what this looks like in real life, because we used this system to help my 5-foot tall daughter add over 45 feet to her hits in just 8 weeks, where she stopped rolling over and she actually hit her first home run at like barely over 100 pounds, soaking wet, 5 feet tall. So make sure you go watch that breakdown where we show you exactly how we did that, because that's really where this stuff starts to click, and it starts to make kids perform better than their weight class kind of typically assumes that they're supposed to be able to perform, which is a really fun thing for a parent. And I'd like that to happen for you too. So go check out that video next, and I'll see you over there.